even if you were looked at as the GOAT, we're taking that GOAT status down because you got there the wrong way.
LeBron or LeGoat? That was a legitimate question. He hit another milestone. He reached a total of 50,000 points in the regular season and playoffs.
50,000?
50,000 points.
That's a lot of points. I must admit, as a Jordan fan, that is a lot of points.
Hey, now he just added to the list.
He's added to the list.
Yeah, this is in the Lakers 136-115 win versus the Pelicans. Trista, we already know LeBron is in a higher tier that kind of just keeps moving up. Is this enough to make him the overall GOAT? How are we feeling? One, about his achievement, and then two, your thoughts overall on LeBron and then the caliber that he's playing at the age he's at.
You do that. I'm not going to even let you lay the groundwork for that. No. LeBron is great at the longevities he's having. Let's just put apples where apples go, and let's put oranges where oranges go. It wouldn't matter if he gets 70,000 points, right? We're not weighing them against points. We're weighing them against the dominance. If I play much longer, I'm going to get much more points. We're not going by points. If we were going by points, then that means Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would have been the GOAT until LeBron passed him. That's not what we're equating this to. I think people keep missing the argument because they keep trying to slide in new information. New information doesn't change what it is that we're basing this upon. It could change the numbers, it could change the status of yourself, but it doesn't change. We're talking about the chips. We're talking about the dominance. We're talking about when it's asked for, you deliver. It doesn't matter if you get 60,000 points. If at the end of this, you go out the second round. You understanding what I'm saying? Because a girl got a better BBL doesn't make her like, come on now. Yeah, you're 50 years old and can still wear Daisy Dukes. That don't make you the finest girl ever lived. That just means you look good for your age. Looking good for your age doesn't make you the GOAT. And that's what people are doing. They're talking about you looking good for your age. And if you look good for your age, that means you've been looking good for a long time. That still don't make you the baddest ever. Is that correct as a woman? Does that make you the baddest ever?
Ever subjective. Bad for that time.
It make you bad for that time. Exactly. But it doesn't make you the baddest ever because you was able to keep a physique at 60 years old. Your legs still look good in high heels or whatever it is. And I'm not comparing LeBron. I'm trying to make this a understandable point for ladies. Because if you see a lady that looks good at 53, it doesn't mean she looks better than Vanessa Williams, right?
So when you say that, and I want Trista to finish her point.
Do you understand that point? That y'all don't have to agree with me. Do you understand
I understand.
the point?
I understand.
So I understand your point, and I didn't want to go off on a tangent. And I'm going to make this point really, really quick because also to that point,
I hate lies. I hate lies. I really do. I hate lies.
You can say what you want, but to even like compare, like, okay, best for longevity, baddest for that time, and then for women, I think of like Kim Kardashian, right? She's looked good for the longevity of her career, which also in comparison, I'm not saying like Kim Kardashian is the looks of like LeBron in basketball, but like kind of, because that's the same kind of concept.
Okay. So I'm glad you said that, because the way Kim Kardashian came about her success, for me, I don't value that. Because of the way she came about it. To other people that have different morals and different principles, they may look at that and like, so what? She's a billionaire. I don't count money that you get the wrong way. I don't count that. You know what I'm saying? There's some people like, oh, I won 100 games. But you won 100 games on steroids. I feel the same way about rap. If it comes out that these rappers did these things to be at that level, and I'm like, no, bro, I was doing that without doing that. Yeah. So I don't hold a success on the same level. At that point, even if you were looked at as the GOAT, we're taking that GOAT status down because you got there the wrong way. Get there honestly. You got there, now all this stuff comes out. You got there these ways? Nah, I don't respect that. You're nobody. You're actually lower than the people who we thought was under us.
That's a really good point, and I kind of want to get your perspective on LeBron more than. So in that analogy, do you think that there's something besides the amount of rings that is bringing LeBron down in terms of the dominance? Like, do you think
let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it. It's not just the rings are one. Of course, it's the championships, and there's people who won more championships than Jordan. So it's not just the rings, but it's showing up when it counts. Isn't that what makes you great? That you show up when it counts. That's why people love God, because he comes through. He's faithful. He's faithful. Is no excuse for not delivering. That's what I'm more so talking about. It's not the 50,000 points. I said it myself. If LeBron wins a championship with his son, then I could start having that conversation. Until then, I can't have that conversation until you come through. Pause when we really need you to, without excuse. Him joining other people to get those rings, that definitely plays into his legacy. That would be no different than if you find out that I was buying all my cells. That plays into how we look at you, right? We can't throw that away. We can't highlight the things that you do good and turn a blind eye on the things that weren't correct. Is that correct? Or we just, because that's what I'm talking about. You joining teams, you're moving stuff around so you can, it's like me going in a park and there's 2 7-footers and all other kids are 5'10". And I picked the 2 7-footers and I'm playing against all of the kids 5'10", but you want me to believe that you did something? No, you were playing with, you stacked your team. You stacked your team.
The question that I have though about the longevity, the female analogy, the women analogy, do you think if you're the baddest girl in your senior year in high school through like sophomore year in college, and then you fall off, like rim check Jordan Wizards, and you have a short but high peak, but then you have somebody who's like maybe slightly not as hot, but is hot like Halle Berry into her 50s. You don't weigh those things at all. It's just like whatever your peak is, even though you might have fallen off of a cliff in your early 20s.
No, I do see that point, but Jordan didn't have that. That's why I'm trying to say that. That will be very much true. I'm a realist, I'm going to weigh both sides. Like if LeBron comes and he gets, let's say 5 championships and he didn't run to Miami to get it, he would definitely be in that. He would definitely be right there with Jordan, right there where you can even say, okay, some people could put him over him. And I wouldn't be mad at that. But the things that certain players have done to get their rings, that's different. That's different for my mindset. I'm not the end all say all to anything, but I'm just here to voice that opinion. Because when you do certain things like that, I can't deem it as the same. Are you a great basketball player? Yes. Do you have the most points? Yes. Have you been the best for the longest? Yes. But that don't make you the best.
That's that. But Trista, so I just need a little final.
Because when we needed you to be the best, you walked off. When we needed you to be the best, you blamed other people. So we got to keep all of that on the same scale. The guy I'm talking about, when his dad died, he delivered. When he had the flu, he delivered. He never gave us an excuse for not delivering. That's why we still wear Jordans instead of LeBrons. That's why we wear them.
That's fair. Do you put Steph Curry then over LeBron? Because Steph didn't ever leave a team, even though he got... inherited.
Yes, I'm glad you put. Now you're getting my mindset. I actually hold Kobe over LeBron. To me, Because with everything people saying, Kobe got his 5 championships with the team he was with. When they went down, he went down with his team. When they came up, he came up with his team. He never felt like he had to go to play with Ray Allen to win. He put the team on his shoulders. When people said, well, you only got those because Shaq was with you. He got them without Shaq, without moving. Same location. Same location. Y'all come play with me. Can't say you're the king if you following other people to play. Not where I come from. You can't do that. And I know today we have better media and we have better access to the media. We didn't have internet and stuff like that. So you can paint narratives. But even when people act a certain way, when they get around real men, we know who's who. We know who's who. You can lie to other people. You can't lie to people like me. And that's probably why people don't like my takes. Because you can't lie to me. You can lie to other people that's infatuated with things you've done. But I can see through it. Great basketball player. Number 3 still to me. Number 3. That's high though.
And then Steph or Magic or who?
I can't really say right now because I'm really in this heated discussion. Is Jordan, is Kobe. People be disrespectful putting LeBron before Kobe. LeBron is not before Kobe. Kobe got 5. Kobe was as dominant. There's nobody that would say LeBron is way more dominant than Kobe. What are y'all talking about? Did Kobe not exist? What are we talking about? When Kobe was here, was he dominating Kobe? Where are we getting this from?
I agree. I think that Kobe is probably one of the most disrespectful superstars or disrespected superstars that we have. Like the fact that he's not in GOAT discussions like all the time is insane to me. Like that's insane to me, especially as somebody who grew up hating the Lakers, watching every Laker game as a Portland Trailblazer fan. Like he was a killer. He was like as clutch as they came. And he had a mentality that, you know, is sort of like doesn't exist anymore. As much as guys want to say they have the Mamba mentality, not many people do.
Well,
I agree with that, Jake.
Yeah, I want to add to that because I do. First of all, like Steph Curry is my GOAT, but I think Kobe is definitely up there. I think one of the things about it, especially with like, not to be the voice of Gen Z, but like people, I don't think we ever leave Kobe out of the conversation or out of the discussion because he definitely is stamped there, you know, like top tier. He's the GOAT. I really feel like he's even in his own lane, but I do think that people are, especially younger generations, are entertained by what's currently in their face.
Yeah.
It's the attention span thing.
Of the moment.
Yeah.
Prisoners of the moment. Because is nothing you go back and look at and say, okay, oh, this is that much greater than this. So I wonder, where do they get this narrative from? Probably because they watch ESPN or they watch these major old networks that feed this information and come up with stats and come up with ideas that make people focus in on that one part and say, oh, yeah, he got 60,000 points. Okay. And Wilt Chamberlain had 100, but we don't bring him up. Right. And what's his name? And Bill Russell.
Yeah.
And all of these people had 10 rings or whatever they got, you know, but we don't call them the GOAT. You call you the GOAT because you're the greatest of all time, not the most points of all time, not the most blocks of all time, the greatest of all time. I mean, we put these two people on the stage. Let's define what the greatest of all time is. We put these two on the stage and this one outperforms the other one every single time. So I'm saying if you put Jordan and LeBron on the stage, Jordan will outperform him every time. If you put Jordan and Kobe on the same stage in a prime, Kobe would outperform him every time. That's what we're going off. Because I even have a hard putting Magic on them, but I understand. He may, with his athleticism, outperform Magic every time. And I'm okay with that. As long as it's the truth, I'm okay with it. I don't like when people are biased because they like a person, or they're biased because they need an interview, or they're biased because they have financial gain to why they're saying what they're saying.
Very, very.
And everybody I hear talk about this conversation have an agenda in the conversation. So you never get the truth from people who have an agenda for why they're saying what they're saying. That's bias either against the person or bias for the person. You couldn't name one person that had this discussion. Probably. You probably could. But I don't see one as of yet that I've heard of that wasn't either bias against LeBron or bias for LeBron.
All right, so this is really what I love most about this show. The truth, the realness. Okay? I mean, what other show can you go on where somebody is going to really speak their mind? All right, most of these shows that you see, especially on ESPN, especially on Fox, you got people who are paid off, who are signed, and who are bought, who are sold. Okay, so at least this show, Mason Cameron, even though they say a lot of things that get themselves in trouble, they got a lot of beef with people. People are upset, because they feel disrespected. But that doesn't stop them from speaking from the heart. That don't stop them from being real, right? And letting everybody know, what they feel. Because out there's a lot of people who feel this way about LeBron James. Okay, so when Mason's speaking, he's really just speaking for those people. And they need, to have their voices heard. They need to have their opinions be spread out there. We can't just have, people who are bought out to Clutch Sports or whatever speaking. We can't just have the Gilbert Arenases. We can't just have the Brian Windhorst or the Kendrick Perkins or the Nick Wrights, all right, who for the last, 10 to 15 years, all right, who have been pushing the same narrative over and over. Right, when they go home and they lie down on their bed, rest their head on their pillow, they don't even believe, all right, half of what they're saying. Right, and Kendrick Perkins, he said it one time when he was on an interview with JJ Redick. He said that he was told by producers to say a certain thing, right? So he's admitting it. And just if you think about this, just add it up, okay? Kendrick Perkins said this. So Kendrick Perkins, for the past 15 years, let's say excluding 1.5 years, because him and LeBron now are in beef. Right, he had been one of the number one supporters of LeBron, and he said this. I remember him and Shannon were going at it for who was the number one supporter of LeBron. He said himself that he was paid off, or he was being told to say a certain thing, all right, by producers. So that just goes to show, if he said that simply means that others are being told that way as well. Okay, but you have a show like this where, the guys they're not signed to anybody really. They have sponsors, but those sponsors have nothing to do with sports. So they can say whatever they want, and they can diss whoever they want, right? They can offend whoever they want, and they don't care. So we're happy about a show like this, and we're going to keep giving you guys rawness, the realness from these guys, all right? So that's about it. So until next time.